Tánaiste, there was a commitment in the programme for government to prioritise new wind farm guidelines. And wind is important, and it's important that we're able to utilise it as part of the solution to moving to cleaner energy. I got a PQ reply last week again on it, and the PQ reply from the Minister said that the 2006 guidelines remain in force. I won't read it all. It said, "My department is currently undertaking a focused review of the 2006 wind energy guidelines, and they're working with the other department, Department of Environment and Energy. They're engaging on all aspects of it." Now, that's the same reply. That's the same reply as I was getting 12 years ago here. And this isn't good enough. There's no movement on it. And why? Is it deliberate? Because a lot of people are coming to the conclusion that this is deliberate to allow the large investors and large corporations to be able to put these in, and particularly in the Midlands, and then bring in guidelines after that, maybe weak guidelines, but bolt the door when the horse is gone. And meanwhile, and the Count Corla will attest to this, huge wind turbines are planned in South Laois and North Kilkenny without any proper guidelines, never mind regulations, and now also planned in the north of Laois as well. We have no community obligations, we have no proper setback distances from homes, we have no protection against shadow flicker and noise, and residents feel powerless and are very frustrated with this.
Thank you, Deputy
and it's disgraceful.
Stanley.
And Ciancórla, I conclude on this. Every one of the last 4 governments have promised to do this. Who's putting the brakes on it? I have a bill before the Dáil. If you want to support that, if you want to bring your own guidelines, that's fine. But when will we finally have wind guidelines, up-to-date ones, that are fit for purpose with these huge, almost 600 feet turbines? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a bit frustrated on this myself, because I find myself often asked this question and I end up having to give the same answer. But I've spoken to Minister John Cummins, has responsibility for this, doing very good work on this, and I'm very grateful to him for that. We do need to see these guidelines. Now, I've got to be honest, when we see guidelines, as is the case, not everyone will be delighted with the guidelines, I'm sure, but we still need to provide a degree of clarity as to what the planning landscape looks like from a guidelines point of view in terms of renewable energy. Deputy O'Callaghan raised this with me very recently as well in relation to our own constituency. So Minister John Cummins tells me these will be forthcoming in the coming months. I will ask him to keep the House updated. I'm sure he'd be happy to engage with deputies with an interest in this issue. There has been a whole variety of reasons, the new Planning and Development Act and the likes, quite a bit of work that's to be done on noise information too, and there will be a chance for people to input into the final draft guidelines too, but I'll ask Minister Cummins to write to you directly and to expedite it as quickly as possible.